Welcome everybody back to The Hole in the World, an actual play of Monte Cook Games' Invisible Sun RPG. I am, as always, your humble GM, Zach, otherwise known as Great Samino. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm very excited to be back with my cast after 2-month-long winter break. We're all dying to play this game, and now we finally do. Take it away, Marcy, if you'd like to do your intro.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marcy, aka Experimental Madness, which is the username you can find me most places around the internet, except for Twitter, where I shall remain the resident cryptid, but technically you can find me there under the username Marciful. I am back once again playing Gabrielle Kazan. Let's see if I can do this. It's been like 2 months. I'm not looking at my character sheets. The iconoclastic ardent apostate who hosts a choir.
Awesome.
Nothing.
Well done. Well done. And moving down the overlay, Bill, if you'd like to go ahead and give your intro.
Hey, everybody. I'm Bill. You can find me on Discord. I am at GhostSpike over there, and I am looking at my character sheet. Maurice Webb is a stalwart empath of the Order of Weavers who turns tales into reality.
No less impressive. Well done. Moving over to the other side, Hopper, if you want to, I think I go, counterclockwise. No, I did it the wrong way. Hopper, if you'd like to give your intro. It's been a while, guys.
That I made myself again. What's up, everybody? I'm Hopper. I'm your resident dumpster fire. I use they, them pronouns, as do my characters. Better not be another one, Zach. At least 2. And I'm playing tonight. I believe we're starting out with Twigg, the mendicant gallant apostate who heralds beginnings. I definitely had that open. I forgot if I was supposed to say anything else.
Well,
You're doing great, sweetie.
I got thrown by the, is it my turn? Is it not my turn? Maybe I'm over here. Maybe I'm just a creature in the corner.
And finally, last but not least, rounding out this merry band of misfits, Marissa, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Greetings and glad tidings, everyone. My name is Marissa, she, her pronouns, also known as Critical Kitten with various punctuation here and there on the internet. And I play Kyrrie von Hollingsworth, the first assistant librarian of the Order of the Vance. She is an aromatic stoic who understands the words, guardian of Zaleska's grimoire, curator of King Nine's library, seeker of legendary tulips and forgotten fiancés.
Awesome. So guys, we actually have a little bit of a special focus for tonight's stream. And I think there's no kind of surprise to this. I think given the fact that we are a stream that is in part dedicated to kind of the challenging of a overwhelming kind of fascistic and authoritarian regime. But in order to kind of give us a little bit more context, Marcy, if you wouldn't mind taking it away.
Hey, y'all. So if you've been paying attention or living in the world at all in the last several days, which has felt like several centuries in minutia, you're aware of what's going on in Ukraine right now. Speaking as somebody who is both an Eastern European Jew and is playing one, I felt I would be remiss if we did not mention something while we're here on this stream. So in light of that, we are going to be sharing a bunch of places where you can donate. We really hope you will. You're going to see a pop-up in the Nightbot throughout the entirety of the stream, so you don't feel the need to like rush for your notebook or take notes. They will be there. They will be preserved. Click on them as you go. We've got a couple of charities to highlight. Specifically, we have a charity that you can donate to that goes directly to the Kiev Independent, a good source of information about what's going on the ground right now to support journalists and people that are risking their lives to give you accurate information about what is happening in Ukraine right now. I personally wanted to plug the World Progressive Union for Judaism, which is, we'll share a link on the bottom, specifically that is helping many Ukrainian Jews as refugees leaving the country. Again, it's only been like 2 or 3 generations since the last time around. And as somebody who is Jewish, again, also playing a ex-Soviet Jew, this is something that's near and dear to my heart, so I hope you will take the time to take a look at the charities, donate what you can. We know times are hard for everybody. We're certainly not expecting you to empty your wallets. However, whatever you can give, please do. We certainly are here on stream. And we also have a bevy of other charities that I cannot list all of them, or we will be here for the entirety of our streaming time, but please take the time to look at all of them. And I noticed that we're having some issues with some of the URLs. We'll fix those for you, and then hopefully they won't be one big mess, and then you can just click on them individually. But thank you guys.
Yeah, I think hopefully that is going to be fixed momentarily. I've added spaces. What a novel technological concept. But basically,
editors hate him.
But the kicker is, I wanted to kind of like give you guys some context for some of the charities that, according to NPR, are really good ways to support the people continuing to fight the Russian regime in Ukraine. So namely, we have UNICEF, which supports health, nutrition, and education and safe drinking water and sanitation. There's Doctors Without Borders, which is doing a range of activities in Ukraine right now. There's Voices of Children, obviously is a charitable foundation that focuses on the care of children in war-torn areas. We have Sunflower of Peace, which is a nonprofit organization raising money to prepare first aid medical tactical backpacks for paramedics and doctors. We have the International Committee of the Red Cross, which is a fairly well-established charity. Save the Children, which is based in London and helps to deliver life-saving aid to vulnerable children. We have the UN Refugee Agency, or UNHCR, which is providing emergency assistance to Ukraine families. There is CARE, which is raising money for its Ukraine Crisis Fund. And then finally, there's the International Medical Corps. The global nonprofit has been basically delivering primary healthcare and mental health services in Eastern Ukraine since 2014. So these are some really great charities. And for folks that cannot see the links in the correct order and kind of fashion, that link that I just posted is to an NPR resource that adds links directly to them. So hopefully when this comes back up on the timer, it'll be a lot easier to access. That said, one thing that we thought, which would be a lot of fun for us to do for Invisible Sun fans, is in order to maybe kind of like incentivize a little bit of donations in addition to the donations that we ourselves are going to make, for anybody that can submit to me, and I will give you guys an email both in our Discords as well as on Twitter. Anybody that can submit to me a receipt for a donation of at least $20 to a Ukraine-based charity, or Ukraine assisting charity, we are going to build a custom Invisible Sun Forte for you guys to enjoy at your leisure. It's basically going to be homebrewed by all of us, with making sure that we have plenty of kind of like input into the mechanics and how best to kind of represent this this kind of new idea. So if you guys can submit that receipt or take a screenshot and send it my way, I am going to make sure that you guys personally get access to this really neat little bit of homebrew that we're going to do to support the effort. So unless anybody else has any lists of charities that they'd like to share or anything else, we can say a little bit more about the effort. I will launch into our intro. Guys, anything left? Okay. So guys, let me change the music. It's okay, I remember how to do this. A second.
Just as an FYI, I have a visitor that's here in the stream with us. I doubt anyone can see it, but there is a big orange cat that's sleeping directly behind me, and sometimes he will snore.
So
and we're just going to have to put up with that today.
That's fair. I appreciate it. Okay.
Orange cats are so hot right now.
Okay. So, when last we left our vislae, they had just arrived in the palace of Queen Friggeleva, almighty ruler of the angels of the Silver Sun. Pushed into the palace by the angels surrounding them, Gabrielle, her parents, Kyrrie, Maurice, and Twigg were forced to wait in the queen's receiving room. There, Gabrielle had but a few minutes to discuss the events of the day with her long-lost mother before she and her companions were summoned before the angelic monarch. Queen Friggeleva soon sent Gabrielle to speak with the Auru Stam, a sentient artifact of the legacy that dated back to the creation of the actuality. While Gabrielle discussed the fate of the choir of angels inside of her, Twigg and Kyrrie tried to learn more from Queen Friggeleva about the Logovor's cycle of life and the curative god's tulips respectively. Their efforts and Gabrielle's revelation were disrupted by the sabotage of two strange twin vislae, which Gabrielle's angelic companion Athariel identified as two members of the Vespertine, a clandestine cabal that had a hand in the war. Our session ended with Gabrielle firing a rifle shot at one of the twins, her mother opening a portal into the temple tower for the other vislae to follow, and Queen Friggeleva looking magically into Kyrrie and gasping in surprise. And it's at that moment that we are going to return. Which means I have to change the music once again.
Just out of curiosity, what card is on the what card is currently up?
I am so glad that you asked, because I have not turned a card yet. I can certainly fix that, however. One moment. So, in fact, let's go ahead and switch back over to the path. Krifu, but welcome back, Krifu. Thanks so much for saying hey. I was gonna say, I think we're closing in on 3 years almost now. Can you believe it? But yeah,
Time is an illusion.
It is a flat circle. It's a weird soup, in fact. It's like rain on your wedding day. So I am going to go ahead and turn the first card. Ooh. This one's, I can't show the image, but it's really intense. It's the Harvesting Spider, which intensifies red and it diminishes or weakens blue magic. So it is a Mysteries, Rats, Mirrors, and Stone card. Its meanings are action, labor, and stealth. Spiders are many things: builders, weavers, and caretakers, but also hunters, killers, and blood drinkers. The harvesting spider cares for her young, but at the expense of what she harvests, and that just might be you. She is stealthy and sneaky. Her many footsteps are silent. Regardless, spiders never stop working. They build and create to serve specific purposes. As terrifying this card appears, its meanings are more esoteric but still significant. The always active spider signifies action. Act immediately. Work hard. Success can be had, but only as a result of action and toil. The harvesting spider is also a subtle hunter and thus can suggest that stealth might be required in one's endeavors. Someone takes action. People labor to achieve a goal. A newly erected structure becomes important. Various forces debate over a single important action. Thieves or spies are active in the shadows, which is very appropriate. That dream you had of a... Okay, that is too descriptive, so I'm not going to get in there. So, basically, guys, I think that card represents those two strange vislae that have taken it upon themselves to labor at some furtive purpose within the temple tower. But before we rejoin that moment of the rifle shot, I do want to cover the fact that something transpired in the throne room. So, as this throne room was completely inundated with a gigantic flock of birds, I think that in the chaos of Queen Friggeleva, this almighty angel, incinerating them out of the air within this chamber. There was a moment where Kyrrie, you had the opportunity to speak to Queen Frigeliva about God's tulips, and in looking into the truth of you and the sight of you, she had a moment of gasping breath. And so I think the important thing is to pick up there. So, Kyrrie, there is this sharp intake of breath as Queen Frigeliva looks at you. And you hear her say in this kind of deep, resonating, angelic voice, "The current burns in you like a fire, an inferno." And as she's kind of like looking at you, before she can kind of expound on this, she rises from the throne, this 40-foot monarch, and is beginning to kind of assess the situation, and trying to kind of ascertain what's going on in the City of Angels. And at the same time, that doorway that that Gabrielle's mother opened in the center of the chamber, it is seemingly beginning to flicker. And she looks to you as you have kind of like gotten as close to this monarch as you can, and says, "I'm not sure how much longer I can keep it open." What do you do? I will say,
Kyrrie,
yeah.
go ahead.
I will say that in the previous session, your companions have run through. You have moments while this thing is flickering. What do you do?
I think Kyrrie's looking back and forth between the queen and the portal, and the queen and the portal, and she realizes that she has to make a choice between learning more about whatever the queen just saw in her and going to be with the rest of the group. And I think she doesn't have much time to make this decision, so she just sort of settles on an in-between. She starts running towards the portal, but as she does, she looks back at the queen, and I think her eyes connect with hers one final time before she dives through. And she's, "Current? What current?" But if Queen Frigeliva answers, I think it's too late, because Kyrrie's momentum has already carried her through the portal.
Awesome. Okay. So you run through the portal, and the door vanishes behind you, and you find all three of you, Twigg, Maurice, and Kyrrie, looking on Gabrielle, her rifle shouldered, having just fired off a shot. This kind of strange tableau as you all take it in. And Gabrielle, I believe that you need to make a attack roll.
I do.
Yeah, we'll see how that shot played out.
I'm gonna pop a sortilege into that so I can get my Telestic Strike if I hit.
Okay, so I will tell you right now, the number that you are trying to hit. Let me take a look at this. The number that you are trying to hit is a 9 on both dice. So take into account whatever benes or additional bonuses you are adding.
So even if I use the sortilege, I can use accuracy?
I will say, because you are getting the drop on this figure, I'm going to give you +1 to your venture to start, and I will say you can also take a moment to add a bene here.
Okay, so that will be my accuracy, I think, is probably the best one.
Okay, so you are going to need a 7 on both dice.
All right, we got this. Come on, baby. Hell yeah.
Okay, all right.
What happens if I get 2 8s?
2 8s. Describe, how are you? Okay, so to kind of put everything.
Let me do some math about how much damage I did.
Yeah, while you do that, I'm going to kind of spell out like this scene that you looked on. There were 2 twin vislae, both kind of.
Oh shit.
Yeah, go ahead.
I also had Weapon Whisperer, so technically I already had a +1 going in.
I will say this, if you want, yeah, okay, you would have +1 to this.
It doesn't matter because I hit it, but yeah. I always keep forgetting about my secrets.
Yeah. So in that case, you have you've hit. calculate your damage. So there are two twins. They're both fairly androgynous and fairly kind of like pale. And when I say pale, it's along the lines of albinism. They're very like alabaster white skin, semi-translucent. But their eyes, rather than be kind of like the characteristic pink or red of an albino, are the irises, the pupils, the whites of the eyes are all black. So there's a man and a woman that are, or these two kind of androgynous figures rather, that are working in tandem. Which do you shoot?
I think I hit the man.
Okay. So like, go ahead and tell me how much damage you do. 5
points of damage.
Okay. You hear, and where are you kind of targeting?
Oh, I'm a sniper, baby. I was aiming for the head.
And I think that with 5 points of damage, you just have a deep graze that takes off part of his ear, and he reflexively puts his hand to his temple and looks back at where the shot came from and hisses at you. Sister, we have company. And at which point the other spins to look at you. And I need everybody to enter into action mode. So
Action mode activated.
All right, it's activated. We're here.
Autobot transforming noises.
all right. So I will tell you this. Let me go ahead and quickly ask if the music is okay for everybody. So you guys have started into this. I would like the 3 people that are just joining before we start kind of assigning actions to give me a roll to see exactly what you see in this chamber.
This would be a perception,
Yeah.
or whatever. Okay. Oh, great! I've got 0. Great.
Okay. So you got a 0 on yours?
Yeah, I'm using the dice that you got for me. So and not only do I have 0 Bennett to add, but that is indeed a 0 on the roll.
Hey, I didn't touch them, I promise. Okay, so 0 on the roll. Good to know. Next, who is up?
5.
5? Okay. Finally, Twig. What'd you do?
That's a sweet 4.
Okay. On a 5 and a 4 and a 0, you guys are just kind of like discombobulated by arriving through this portal directly into this chamber. I will tell you this, you realize the door very quickly disappears behind you. You are in this temple tower chamber. At the center of it, you can see this kind of strange stone-like artifact with 17 facets that seems to be kind of like surrounded on each side by these kind of strange bone-like cubes. On the other hand, you see the two kind of like these two assailants, one of whom Gabrielle has just shot with her rifle. But also around you, you see what look to be these strange angelic figures that are half of their bodies seem to be fused to the floor of the chamber and are unmoving or unable to extricate themselves from the floor itself. So with that being said, you did manage to kind of like get the drop on this one vislae. So we're going to go ahead and say that they didn't have time to react, and now everybody needs to give me their action choices. So what we're going to do is we're going to start in our typical, actually we're going to go in reverse order. Kyrrie, what do you do?
Kyrrie is going to cast a spell. She's going to target, so Gav targeted the male figure.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kyrrie will target the other figure, the sister, with Baroth's Binding Grasp, which is level 5 plus 1 die. A creature within short range is blinded and held in place until this spell depletes. It may still attack, just not change locations.
Okay, cool. In that case, why don't you go ahead and roll again? You need to get a 9 on 2 dice. What's the level of Baroth's Binding Grasp?
5.
Okay, so in that case, you need to hit a 4 twice.
Okay.
Remember, you can also add a Bene to up that level if you need to.
Okay. I got a 4 and a 7.
Awesome. Okay. So as you do this, describe what it looks like as Baroth's Binding Grasp holds this person in place.
So yeah, I think Kyrrie just reflexively, as she's stepping through the portal, takes one look at the scene around her, sees that Gav has engaged the male Vespertine, and looks to the other one who has been recently alerted by his call that they have company, and instantly just reflexively wants to contain or control where that person is and where they can move. And historically, she's done this with Baroth's Binding Grasp, so it's almost like second nature. She's had this conversation many times with this particular spell, and so it's almost like it came to the top of her mind uncalled. And they had the briefest of exchanges before she puts on the proverbial cloak of the spell and casts it out into the world, at which point it kind of descends tendril-like onto this Vespertine, and then the tendrils quickly snatch around her, and also her eyesight goes dark.
Awesome. Okay, and I think as you begin to cast this spell, she looks at you, sees you as her eyes go dark, and you hear her say to her brother, "They have a Vance! Kill her!" And that is what she manages to say before the Binding Grasp takes hold. Remind me, have you released the spell and closed that part of your brain?
No, I will spend the Bene to hold it.
Okay, cool. Next up in the order, moving in reverse, Twigg, you're up.
All right. Well, I don't have my scratch sheet from last time, so I believe with the flip over, I have no physicality left because I burned all that to try to eat something I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
What's in your mouth? Energy abides. So I would like to use a forte ability to not die.
Okay.
And the one other question that I don't have notes on, because I suck and I can't find my. Oh wait, I found my book. I'm not supposed to eat. But I don't know. I don't know if it's in there anyways. It is not. I don't know if I got Fortinbras back.
I think that you guys did have a moment where Kyrrie gave it back.
Specifically did that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Good to know. I would like to use my ability. We start at the beginning.
Okay.
And I think the what this looks like is Twigg is just kind of staggered. Less ran and more fell forward through this doorway. Like if you've ever run while you're kind of drunk, it's that energy. Like you're really not running. You're just falling in a efficient manner. And
the act of flight is really just succeeding at trying to hit the ground and missing. Yeah, go ahead.
So I would like to pump up, let's see, for every 2. Okay, so I'm going to spend 4 points to kind of activate this ability. So I will bump it up by 1 level. And so I think what this kind of looks like is, even though Twigg is unfamiliar with this armor that they're wearing, this strange silvery armor that's kind of covered in these engraved clocks and hourglasses and 13s, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the armor of the 13th hour. and this jacket that is not theirs, clothes that are not theirs. I think in one hand they're holding this this mask that Kyrrie helped them pry off their face. And in the other hand, they've got Fortinbras still just kind of held because they don't have a holster. Because
yeah,
of course that dick wouldn't keep the holster. Yeah, I think there's just this kind of air of almost like that moment when you stop and take a deep breath and just say the energy of, okay, next thing and next step. Anyways, mechanically I get +2 armor, and allies within near range of me heal 2 damage per round.
Awesome. Okay.
And the range of depletion is increases by 1, so it is 0 or 1 every round.
Cool. Awesome possum. All right. I need to draw 2 cards to keep on track of that. So let me go ahead and what color is that ability?
That the ability is silver.
Okay. So the Vizier, which is the nemesis of cats, clocks, and wind. Manipulation, sycophant, power and influence. Lurking in the shadows, the Vizier controls from a distance. They do not sit upon a throne, but instead are the power behind that throne. They don't make laws, they circumvent them, but they do it to further the ends of the ruler, the land, or perhaps themselves. The Vizier has secret agendas within agendas. Their smooth words manipulate everyone, even the ruler they supposedly serve. Thus, they have much of the real power and influence. Are they acting in the best interests of the ruler or themselves? How can we ever be certain? The Vizier is the nemesis of notions. They cannot be trusted. The right words in the right ear can be more potent than any spell. Someone is manipulating things behind the scenes, and that is almost certainly bad for the person in question. One must look for where the real power is, because this card turn suggests that it isn't where one thinks it is. The Vizier can also mean that there is a way for one to manipulate the people involved in one's goals, though through careful words, clever words, coercion, or extortion. So, quick check. Whose nemesis is that? Okay.
What's the nemesis of what now?
Of notions, cats, clocks, and wind.
Oh, good.
Cool. So I will tell you this. Something occurs to you, Gabrielle, which is that, first off, also, hey, role-playing gamers, thanks for joining us and rating us. Thank you for joining the company. You came at an exciting time. I will say this, Gabrielle, what about this situation makes you realize that these guys are flunkies or agents of something larger?
Did I hear? I mean, there's no way I wouldn't have heard their panic shout about they have a Vance killer.
Yeah.
Something about the tone of that, like just from our last encounter with Vespertine when we were in the war report.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just like they didn't seem to really have a care for who they killed. They just had confidence that everyone would get the hell out of their way. So I think seeing that, Gav realizes that whatever they are and whoever they're affiliated with, they might not know that much. Okay. Or they're not nearly as powerful as the ones she wishes she was shooting right now.
Awesome. So that is the Nemesis card that I pulled. I do have to pull a card for We Start at the Beginning. And it's another, I believe it's another Nemesis. The Nemesis is the Doctor, which is the nemesis of vision, swans, blades, and water. Meanings: wisdom, health, dependence upon others, disease. Doctors help, but it's a help we'd rather not need. No one wants to see a doctor. We only see them if something's gone frighteningly wrong. The Doctor is the nemesis of the Vision's family. This enigmatic, genderless figure is a harbinger of illness and plague. But they, the possibility of succor or even remedy from the disease they foretell. There is an inherent contradiction to the Doctor then. They are the hero that we really do not want. But doctors are supposed to heal. What is it that you're doing? Okay, I believe, is that Twigg's nemesis?
That is my nemesis.
Oh, okay, all right, Maurice. With that nemesis, by the way, everybody, as long as this card is in play, same with the previous nemesis, everybody's actions are -2. So my question then,
Is that stacking or -1 each?
it's -2. It's whatever is the active card.
Oh, whatever the active card. Okay.
Yeah. So in this case, what do you realize about their purpose here? Is there something that kind of like, I think something strikes you, which is they are here for a reason. What do you think Maurice thinks that reason is?
Whatever object that they're setting up, it seems to be some sort of a bomb. They're secretive. They're whispering. This is a clandestine operation. This is something that's going to explode, metaphorically or otherwise.
Okay, so Maurice, you're up.
Yeah, I think that actually perfectly lines up with what I wanted to do. I want to telepathically spy on the object. I want to speak with this object. I want to weave a spell combining the traits of secrets and speech, and I want this flesh-covered cube thing to tell me what it is, to tell me what it's there to do.
Okay. I love that. Let me go ahead and make sure I access that.
Now, because it's weavers are stupid. What do we think this costs, sorcery wise?
Do you have your list of effects chart?
I have the list of effects. Is this like telepathy, like control a creature's mind, but it's not a creature?
Yeah, I think that this would be telepathy. But I will tell you right now, it's you can tell just from taking a look at this, your challenge is going to be 6 to try to establish a connection. Remember, you have -2 on the nemesis. If you
right.
But I will say this: once you cast that weave, the card will change. But in the meantime, the challenge remains. So
the question of, does it actually speak the language of the vislae?
that is a very good question. We'll see what you come up with.
Right. I'm looking to see if what I have to spend on this. I've got too many spreadsheets is what I have. I do have advanced sortilege, so I am going to spend a sortilege to boost this spell.
Cool.
And yeah, I think that's all I can do. Okay.
All right. So I need I think together you need to get at least 2 8s.
Okay. Yeah. Let me find what the effect is. And sorry for slowing this down. I can control a creature's mind at level 6. I can telepathy at limitless range at level 6.
So let's call this a level 6 spell.
Fair.
Yeah. You are still going to need to hit, I believe, a 4.
Okay, 4 on one or both dice.
Both dice, at least 2.
Yeah. 6 and a 7.
All right. Okay. So what information are you trying to glean here? It's basically their purpose.
I'm actually I'm not interrogating it. I'm listening. Like if it were like murmuring its essence, like I want to tap into it.
Okay. So this thing, as you tap into this alien kind of intelligence bound to this accursed cube, you hear this awful kind of like murmuring kind of guttural language, and it sounds a little bit kind of like, you know, the opening of every death metal song. Just this like awful kind of like long terrible series of muttering notes. And the thing that like makes you reel back as you basically listen is it is communicating in imagery basically, and you see it see this horrifying image of bound and bleeding wings, bound by barbed chains. And that is what you get from that.
I think this is really like alien and disturbing and weird, and he's kind of like stumbling from that, and he has his arms full of Duncan, and I think he's kind of ducking and running off the side. Is there a particular direction that the angels that are like incapacitated are in? Are they on the far side? Are they split up on either side?
So if at the heart and the center of this chamber, you see that I will say this, there are a number of columns spread throughout. In fact, there are roughly 8 columns spread in kind of a circle around this central part. You can tell that they are on the outer perimeter of this chamber. The chamber, by the way, is open to the sky, and all these massive apertures around it, these kind of arches, form colonnades in a full circle that are open to the sky around the temple tower, and the air past it is just swarming with these massive birds, which I believe that all of you heard was what is called a solitary murmuration. The birds are in this kind of like form of an even larger bird that itself is the size of a building. And there seems to be 2 of them, basically kind of blocking any interceding kind of forces trying to fly up to the tower. So I will tell you this. The angels that are incapacitated and in the floor, they seem to have been guarding the artifact, and they are within the inner perimeter, not close to the columns.
Oh, sorry, you may just give me information on what it's supposed to get. So this artifact was already here, or were they guarding the Al Rustam?
They were guarding the Al Rustam. The Al Rustam is this massive stone
an
artifact.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. So Maurice, with dog in hand, kind of stumbling, finds his way behind a pillar to take cover, and it looks to see where where the closest incapacitated angel is, and that ends his turn.
Okay. Cool. I will say that as you take cover behind the column, I think there's probably a angel within a short distance of you. That takes us to the next part. I'm going to turn another card as we go into combat. Oh, wow. Okay. You guys, I don't know what is happening here. I just drew the Revolutionary, which is the sovereign of Secrets, Ravens, Books, and Flame. Generally considered a positive card. The Revolutionary, change for the better, however less often. Okay. The interpretation focuses on the destructive nature of the change or the potential negative aspects. An NPC, okay. He changed everything and looked damn good doing it. And I think that that is appropriate because, Gabrielle, you're up.
Cool. I was just thinking of what I should do here. So our 2 Vespertine.
The Vespertines?
The Vespertine.
I want to play.
The Vespertine twins, which I just combined.
Hey.
They have not moved from when I sniped the first one. Where are they now?
Well, one is literally bound.
Yeah.
You got the drop on the other one. So he is kind of like he's cradling in one hand his kind of semi-ruined ear. And then the other, on the other hand, he is kind of like reaching towards his sister. What do you do?
Is he long range from me?
I would say that he's about a medium distance.
Okay, well, I can't do this then.
Yeah, I think he was.
I will.
He was closer to the columns than the artifact.
How about if I just shoot him again then?
You may certainly do this.
As a note, I have not been playing this game for 2 months. It's very obvious. I forgot my base rifle damage the last time I shot, so we will not be forgetting that again.
Mm-hmm.
I just gave you like that damage that I gave you before. That's in addition to my rifle damage.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna fire.
Yeah. Okay. So let me go ahead and jump to that again. Yeah. All right. 1 second. I just need to pull up my stat block here. Yeah. Go ahead. Fire again. Fire at will.
So does the revolutionary, does that give me plus anything? It's not my family though.
It's not your family, but it is a sovereign card, which gives you +2 to the effort.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Let's just add everything in there together with my marksmanship and my lethal lore. And Jesus.
Yeah.
Firing this gun is an experience. Okie dokie. What's the number I need to hit as I do math here?
So it's the total challenge is 9. If you are starting with 3, it means you need to hit 4 twice.
Doesn't matter. I got 9 thanks to all of those stat bumps.
Oh shit. Wait. So did you roll 2 dice? Or are you doing a Telestic Strike?
Oh yeah, I forgot about my other dice. Yes, I do want to do Telestic Strike. I did get 9 plus additions. No, I did not roll a 9. I got a 9 through adding everything. We're gonna get there, folks. 2 months is a long time away. And that'll be an 8 on the dice.
Holy
so I'm not gonna do more math for that. So
all right.
I do one thing really well. It's shoot people.
Okay. So you did 5 on the previous attack. How much damage?
What it should have been is 9 damage.
Oh shit. Okay. Wow. All right. Okay. Excellent. So yeah, describe how you take this guy out.
The old-fashioned way.
Yeah. Okay.
I think not even moving from this little perch I've found myself in, I just reload the rifle, look down the sights, see him as he's like shifting position. Now I have a better like view of him, and
okay. In which case, as you kind of like ruin this guy's
day.
Yeah, day. I was gonna say life. But tell me something. Head or central mass?
There's no more head.
Okay.
He's gone.
As the body falls, I need you to make, double check. Yeah, I need you to make a level 6 resist. As something seems to roll, you're going to need 2 successes, as something seems to seep out of the body, the kind of like the left, what has been left by the damage you've done, and just snake towards you.
Nasty. I'm going to use up my last sortilege for this.
Okay.
And then I will be out. No more Telestic Strikes for me this encounter. What do I need to hit?
You need to hit a 6 twice.
Oof. I hit 1 5 and 1 9.
Okay. So in that case, what happens is
does the +2 still
the +2
apply?
is the +2 is still active.
I hit 1 10 no, I hit 1 11, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's how numbers work. And and 1 7.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You sense that whatever happened,
Thank you, Bill.
whatever kind of like snakes out of this thing and reaches for you, it finds no purchase, as something terrible just seems to, there's this kind of like powerful energy that attempts to kind of wrap around your eyes. And as you kind of like begin kind of like pushing it away, the halo inside of your chest spins and then flares out, dispelling whatever death energy this thing was about to ensorcel you with. So well done. It is the turn of the weird sister. She is going to start and say, "Brother?" And not hearing his voice, is going to begin pulling something out of the air and forming this massive mote of light, I need everybody in the room, in the chamber, to make a resist roll of 6 as this mode of light detonates a blinding flare.
Do I get any bonuses for standing behind a pillar?
Standing behind a pillar? That's a very good point. I will give you, this is more of like not only a visual effect, but a mental one.
Totally.
I will go ahead and, however, with the cover that you have, I will give you +2 to the roll.
Thank you.
Okay.
Got a 7.
Need 2 successes.
Oh no, I don't have any more sortilege to do another dice.
Okay. Good to know.
It's a fat phoenix egg for me.
I got 2 7s.
Okay.
7 and a 6.
All right.
Aren't you guys fancy with your numbers higher than 5?
Kyrrie and Maurice, you sense this kind of blinding, debilitating mental flash that also kind of like has this horrifying visual component. And what ends up happening, you manage to kind of like avoid the blast and avert your eyes and kind of like steel yourselves mentally. However, you see your companions are not as lucky. Twigg and Gav, both of you are blinded and stunned for this next round.
Okay.
Next thing I will go ahead and say is I need Kyrrie and Maurice to make me perception rolls. Your challenge is going to be a 7. Or no, a 6.
I got a 7.
Okay.
We're still adding the +2, right?
Yeah, you still have +2.
Then I got
well,
a
in that
6.
case, it's a 9.
Okay.
It's a 7 on the die.
Awesome. How did you do, Maurice?
I got a 6.
Okay.
With all the stacking pluses and minuses, where are we currently at?
There's nothing stacking. It's just a flat +2 for everybody with the sovereign in play.
All right.
However, that is going to go away next round, so be prepared.
Yeah. Well, I also got a 0, so it's not like it would have made a difference. I just want to make sure I'm doing my math right because it's been 2 months since we played.
Okay. Actually, that reminds me. Maurice and Kyrrie, did you guys roll sortilege as well?
I didn't know.
Say again. Kyrrie?
Oh, I didn't roll sortilege. I did not roll sortilege.
Yeah, this is a magical effect, so you will need 2 successes. I should have said so. Pardon me.
Oh yeah, no, I got 2 successes on the save.
Cool.
Oh, you mean to add the second dice? Okay, in that case, yes.
Okay, cool. Just making sure, not trying to make this too easy. So with your successful perception rolls, you notice that you see what is in play, which is essentially there is this pulse of kind of shadow around these 4 cubes, and they each kind of you hear, I think in that telepathy, kind of like this kind of this punctuating grunt from all of them in your mind, Maurice, and each of you manages to see 4 faces of the Alru Stam, of the 17 facets. They get covered in shadow and darkness. We are going to now start at the top of the round once again. Kyrrie, you are up.
Will you permit Maurice to yell something to Kyrrie about what he learned?
On your turn.
Okay.
Cool. Kyrrie, you're up.
I think she is going to cast. Well, so first I have to do a check on depletion. Does not deplete. So the weird sister is still held. I think she is going to cast her Maleficence. That is level 3 plus 1 die, an alpha spell. I unleash channeled anger in the form of an energy projectile that strikes a target within long range, although I'm currently in short range. The Maleficence is unique to me, and I determine what form the energy takes when I first cast this spell. The target suffers physical damage equal to the spell's level, plus an additional effect based on the energy type, which we have established that Kyrrie's Maleficence is raw emotion, and the effect of that is losing their next turn. So they take they take 3 damage because that's the level of the spell, and then lose next turn.
Okay, so first thing I need to do, let me go ahead and turn another card. In this case, it is the Misremembered Dream. Its color accentuates blue, and it weakens red. Confusion, mistakes, change in identity. Dreams are strange constructs of our subconscious, made stranger still because we don't remember them clearly. Game narrative. People are confused about something. An NPC makes a huge mistake. Something strange is occurring in the dreams of multiple people. Events transpire in the deeps of sleep. The Misremembered Dream isn't necessarily a bad card turn. It suggests confusion or mistakes, but they don't need to be the confusion or mistakes of the person in question. We all dream, so this card can represent the poor memory or befuddlement of anyone. It might also suggest that one should adopt a new identity or disguise, something important in order to succeed. Ah yes, there were rats coming out of mirrors in the sky in my dream, weren't there? Okay, so the Misremembered Dream is in play. I think that this is kind of like the stunned sensibilities of Gabrielle and Twigg. I think that you are just kind of completely discombobulated by the arcane explosion that just happened, which I think Kyrrie going in, just remember you have +1 to blue spells. So Maleficence, I believe, is that a red spell?
I will tell you in a moment. Maleficence is a red spell, correct?
Okay, unfortunately, just bear this in mind, I believe that the card just weakened red spells. So it's going to be, it's going to be -1 on this next spell. But yeah, so you've cast Maleficence. Who's your target?
The Weird Sister.
Okay.
So basically the idea is that now not only is the Weird Sister blinded and stuck where she is, she also can't take her next turn. Right.
So you will need to hit, I will say an 8 on both because she is impaired and blinded. So she's going to, actually I'm going to say -2. So you're going to need to hit a 7 on both, on 2 dice in order to affect her. She seems to have this magical defense. All right.
That's a 5 on one and a 3 on the other.
Okay. In which case, I don't think it succeeds. I think you reach out with your Maleficence to try and strike her next action and to impair her. But for whatever reason, it just seems to glance off this kind of magical barrier that surrounds her. Do you say anything before you end your turn?
No, I mean, I think she'll just kind of like quietly curse that didn't seem to work, but.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I miscalculated that. What is the level of Maleficence?
3.
Oh,
plus 1 die.
Okay. Yeah. Still wouldn't work. Sorry. Okay. Maurice, you're up.
Okay. I think, did Maurice clock that weird, thing that attacked Gav, that weird snaking energy? Is it a physical thing? Is it still around?
Yeah, give me an informal magical knowledge roll.
Okay, which I totally know where to look for that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think you have +1.
I do. That's a 3.
3. You have there is something that you can associate with, in particular with death, that snaking magic has to do with, but you're not sure in the heat of this moment what it is. Okay.
Is it still around?
No, it seems to have evaporated off of Gabrielle as soon as the halo flared.
Maurice sets down Duncan and kind of shoos him over to Gav and Twig, who look dazed, and begins running towards the 4 cubes on the outside of the Al Rustam, and yells back to Kyrrie, "This thing's an angel killer." And he goes with his tentacle arm to rip one of the 4 cubes away from this thing.
Okay. In which case, oh man. All right. You are going to attack with your tentacle arm.
Yeah.
Okay. Remind me, what did we decide your stats were for that? I think it's like a light weapon.
That's a good question. I thought I was just rolling physicality die to like hit with it. I think it's a level 5 weapon. Yeah, level 5 weapon inflicts 4 damage. That's the hand as a tentacle changery stats.
Okay. All right. So level 5 will hit the cube. Like, what are you trying to do with it?
So I guess maybe I'm imagining this wrong. I'm imagining these 4. They've set up these 4 things around the Outer Stone that are affecting it somehow.
Yeah.
And are they tethered to it in any way?
There seems to be this kind of pulse that goes up that concentrates in the perimeter within the perimeter of these 4 kind of accursed cubes. And what
are they connected to each other?
They're not connected to each other. They seem to be floating in the air just above to one side, to one of the 4 sides of the kind of like roughly 4 sides of the artifact.
So I guess the first thing I'm going to do is going to try and grab it and see if it moves at all.
I think that as you grab it, the hatred of this thing,
oh shit,
that you touch with the tentacle channels into your arm, and you feel a sense of ecstasy as this thing tries to induce a hallucination. I would like you to make a resistance roll.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and make sure I've got this in front of me.
Is that box trying to give you drugs?
Let's just say no, kids.
Just say no to the angel killer drugs.
You are going to need 2 successes on this resist roll. Its level is 4.
And because I have the advanced sortilege thing, I can spend 1 and roll 3 dice for this.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's flux.
Oh shit. Okay.
And no successes on the rest of the dice.
Okay. The target hallucinates one of their worst fears, impairing their next action by 3. So basically you now have 3 vex. What is going to happen, I will tell you this, is this is the agency that I'm going to give you. As one, I'm going to give you a despair. And what disturbing image does this accursed cube share with you mentally that you actually find yourself enticed by?
Oh, enticed.
Yeah. Like, what is it about this thing? Like, you feel like almost as you touch it with your tentacle arm, a kinship.
The guttural noises don't sound so alien anymore. They kind of sound a little bit soothing. And you know, my thought was to like grab this thing and chuck it over the side of the tower. And now, like, I could probably use this thing. I could probably use this to my own ends.
Yeah. And as you touch it, it knows you, and it says, Mowgli. And yeah, you think to yourself that you can use this thing. Twig and Gabrielle, you guys lose your turn because of the flare. That said,
you hear just a string of Yiddish cursing from like on a ledge above you. That's all you get.
Yeah, not only that, Gabrielle, you hear Athariel inside of you, and she says,
"Something is wrong here. There's something pulling
and her her stuttering words are beginning to panic. That is the end of your of this round of combat.
Cool.
Yeah.
Teacher, you forgot to give us homework. What's the flux?
Oh no, that was the flux. The flux.
Oh, that was the flux. Okay.
Yeah, the flux.
Also unrelated to the end of combat. I did roll and I'm good to go.
Okay.
Or the ability is still kicking, so that means everybody. I know nobody's taken damage yet, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, you've taken damage, Maurice?
No, I'm agreeing that no one's taking damage yet.
Everybody else shook their heads and you nodded. Because all of you no, stop that.
All right.
Sorry.
So I think at the end of this turn, that effect didn't deplete Kyrrie. So she is still bound and blinded. But you hear a muttering from the weird sister. And not only that, I need to turn another card. Ooh, this one's a bad one. Looming Shade. It accentuates gray, weakens indigo. Meanings: terror, doom, impending danger, and unseen threats. Danger raises its head when this card is turned. This is a threat that comes from an unseen, unexpected quarter. It is the doom that lurks where one least expects it. Obviously, this card is always a bad omen. It really has no positive meanings. An unexpected threat arises. An evil spirit, probably a dead spirit, attacks a living mortal. An NPC is terrified of something, probably justifiably. The PC recognizes an impending threat before it occurs. In time to try to prevent it, an NPC foe is terrified. The PC loses control for a time, gripped in abject terror. An unseen threat harms an NPC ally. Do not ignore the threat that lurks in the dark just because you can't see it. So this is what happens, is all of you guys realize that something is afoot. Gabrielle, you don't see it so much as feel it, as the cubes once again pulse and 4 more facets of the Arustam get covered in shadow. But yeah, it would seem that that weird sister is muttering something. That said, the effect on Gabrielle and Twigg is ended for the turn. We're going to go ahead and start back at the top of the third round. Kyrrie, you're up.
Okay. The Alrestam has darkened planes or darkened facets on it. Is that right? Like the stone figure.
8 out of 17.
Okay. Does this look like a curse to me?
Oh, indeed.
Cool.
It is a yeah.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say it is a curse affecting the Arustam that is being perpetuated on 4 fronts. What do you do?
Okay. Let's see. Can I get within touching range of the Alrestam? Okay. If I can do that, then I will cast, actually, let me check depletion quickly before anything else. That's a 5, it does not deplete.
Cool.
But I think instead of taking another offensive action against the weird sister, Kyrrie is going to go to the Alrestam, and she is going to cast Camerata's Curse Breaker, which is level 5 plus 1 die. I calcify a curse affecting me or something I touch and draw it out like a stiletto if successful. This stiletto has an appearance based on the curse and functions as a weapon of the curse's level. It can be used once before dissolving. So this depends very much on the strength of the curse. I don't know if I can like draw it out of a couple of facets. I don't know, if it's being kind of held or created by 4 distinct things, then maybe like one spell can take care of a 4th of it. I don't know. But Kyrie's going to cast it and see what happens.
Okay. So I need you, what is the level of your spell? Is 5?
Correct.
Okay. With 2 dice, I need you to hit 2 twice. Basically, because this is a curse, it seems that whatever this thing does, this cube, it focuses the curse. So it seems to amplify it even more so than like the power of the cube would present. So hit 2 twice.
Okay. That is 8 and 6.
Okay. As you pull the curse out, you pull 2 of these facets that were dark, brighten once again, and you hear a ooh, and I think Maurice, as you are still listening rapt to this cube's intentions, you hear and you hear it shatter as one of these bone flesh cubes explodes and then just deliquesces into the pristine marble of this chamber.
Question. What does the stiletto look like that I have drawn?
It is a onyx black stiletto of curse.
Zach, can you do me a favor? Can you use deliquesce in a sentence?
Yes.
A different sentence.
If you are unlucky and die in the middle of this combat, you may find your physical form deliquescing.
Well then.
Don't sass me, Captain Sassy Pants.
Hey. I'm not a commissioned officer. That's Sergeant Sassy Pants to you.
Excellent. All right. Well done, Kyrrie. You have removed 1 cube from the board. I was going to say reverse order. Twigg, you have just snapped out of this stunning magic. What do you do?
I guess like now that they can finally see what's going on, I guess they probably they kind of shake off the blindness from the spell. Twigg sees Kyrrie pulling a big fuck off black stiletto out of the remnants of one of these cubes, and Maurice is holding a dog and
dog ran to you. Dog's at your feet.
Oh, dog's at my feet. Oh, Duncan's at my feet. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
But you're tickling a cube with your tentacles.
I will tell you this. Duncan is trying to drag you by the pant leg towards Maurice. Concerned, for his owner.
Okay, I will acquiesce to that request. And Gab's above, correct?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Gabrielle, you're still kind of in this by the Auru stam, just kind of shaking out this stun effect. Cool. Yeah, what do you do?
I think Twigg is going to close the distance to Maurice. Kind of trying to figure out what's going on there since Duncan is concerned, and Twigg might not like most people or trust most people, but they trust this weird little thought construct, which is irrational. Mm-hmm. And the outside of the boxes, are there any visible things that would visibly feel threatening?
Outside of the boxes, I will tell you this. Make me a perception roll.
Hate that. Well, that's unquestionably cocked.
All right.
Oh, that's a 9.
Okay, on a 9, the angels that are fused to the floor, those that are able to move or to able kind of to voice, they seem to be kind of moaning and groaning in pain.
Oh, I know what I'm doing. Twigg is going to use another power instead of doing the smart thing and refreshing a pool.
Okay.
Smart ideas. I hardly know her. Anyways, that will be, I would like to imbue. So this is a question. Can I use the ability imbue reality, which normally would make everything obnoxious for people, to force the floor to let these things go? Let these angels go?
Read for me the ability.
So the ability, it's a level 3 ability. It's the right path of the Herald's Beginnings. Its base level is 3 plus 1 die. As an action, I empower the reality of an object or terrain near me, giving it the ability to impede and attack my enemies.
Okay.
I may choose an area with a 10-foot radius or a large object within near distance to become animate and hostile towards a target. The other option here I was considering is just making like a pillar angry.
Whatever you would like to do, that sounds that sounds viable.
I think while this is probably a bad idea. The boxes are boxy and less threatening than, you know, the moaning angels on the ground.
Okay.
It's less. The boxes are less upsetting. They're just being boxy and eldritch.
Mm-hmm. And okay, you are going to liberate one of these angels, or how many?
Well, so here's the question: is that specifically this says a 10-foot radius, which is a area of 20 feet. Is that enough to liberate more than one of these angels, or just one?
I will say with 20, you can liberate 2.
All right. Let's unleash the biblically accurate angels.
Yeah. Well, I think that these are not biblically accurate. These are more akin to like Egyptian gods. They have the heads of like eagles. And as you remove the floor that is kind of fused to them, and you begin to have it kind of like almost like basically abate, as if it were like some sort of like wave of water, you just notice that they are not getting up. They're like basically, you know, crouched in a fetal position.
Cool. Are they technically allies?
They are technically allies.
Cool. They can heal for 2 points of health each.
Okay.
If that matters.
You have a sense that they are not damaged.
Oh, well, at least not maybe emotionally.
Well, definitely emotionally, not physically.
Gotcha.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm going Twigg kind of like during this process. I think the way this basically looks is Duncan like kind of like tugging and whining, and then Twigg kind of quickly staggers across the floor towards Maurice, and in doing so, I think you just see the floor kind of the what is it, tile, stone, just kind of ripples a little bit like outwards, almost like Twigg's walking on a thin sheet of liquid, and like the reality just kind of warbles and allows these angels to go from being sucked into the floor into a fetal position on the floor, which is a improvement, I guess. Yeah, they're gonna make their way over to Maurice.
Okay. Speaking of Maurice, you are kind of ensorcelled by this cube, kind of like almost enraptured by it. What do you do? Like, I think I will say this. Technically, this effect requires a rest action to clear. You can do that. I can also let you roll to see if you can get your turn.
Oh, I'm gonna lose my turn?
Well, I mean, basically, you would need to use a rest action to clear it.
Well, I'll propose this. Maurice would want to go up to the sister and wrap his tentacle around her neck and say, "Tell me how these work."
Okay. All right. As you kind of close the distance with her, you are going to need to break through whatever magical barrier she has in place over herself. So you have a level 5 attack here. She has +3 to all of her defenses, so you are going to need to hit a 4 twice.
Okay, I'll spend another sortilege, because why not?
Okay. I remember. Yeah. I was gonna say, does advanced sortilege give you the opportunity to spend Bene or no?
Oh, right, because like physicality, right? I could spend it.
Yeah.
For attacking, right? Because that's how that works. Well, thank goodness I don't need it. I got a 9 and a 7 and a 3, so 9, 7.
Awesome. Okay, so you wrap the tentacle around her neck as she's muttering, and you sense that you have stopped something she was about to do. And as you do that, what do you say to her?
Yeah, I say, tell me how these work. Maybe
right.
I'll let you live.
And she looks at you, and just like strangled gasps are coming out of her throat, and you realize she's laughing.
I hate that. Maurice is, I guess, fine with it in this moment.
Yeah, unless you have some way of compelling her, she's not going to say anything. Oh wait, she can't even see you. She's still blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
sure.
Yeah, she does.
So I hear that, and I register them as laughs, and he just says, "I'll just find instructions on your corpse, I guess."
All right. Okay. Yeah. Good to know. Excellent. Gabrielle, you're back up.
Yeah, I think clearing, like blinking rapidly against the temporary blindness, Gav is going to join the main group. Was she able to still hear what was going on around? No one's too far away from me, but I'll let.
No, I was going to say.
So
you heard that. I think you hear everything. Yeah.
Okay. So I definitely heard Maurice threaten our last Vespertine.
Yeah. The Vespertines, you guys are the worst.
It was an accident, and now it's a thing. The last Vespertine.
God, I can't wait to read that YA novel from cover to cover.
Oh man, he can't take me anywhere. I definitely heard the laughter and the rejection of, sort of maybe a parlay there.
Yeah. That parlay didn't seem to go anywhere. I think you heard that pretty clearly.
Cool. I'd like to help with this situation that we've found ourselves in. I think she's gonna land just from not that high up above, but coming down, and goes over to the Vespertine that is bound and blinded, and just knowing full well, I think, that she can't be seen. So she just says, "If I were you, I'd listen to my friend. Trust me, out of the two of us here, he's the nice one."
So what in effect would you like to do mechanically?
I would, how banged up does she look?
She has not been attacked yet.
Great. I'm going to curse her.
Okay. How do you do that?
I use Curse of Feathers.
Okay.
I've been waiting to use this bad boy for a while.
All right, describe it.
Curse of Feathers is a level 5 spell. The being I curse, oh no, damn it, I can't actually do it. They have to be long range.
Yeah.
I asked this before. I know how to play this game. 2 months.
Can't you do stuff in short range if it's long range?
Only if I'm firing a weapon.
No,
My rifle?
I think a spell is just like you have to be at least long
must
range.
be in long range.
Yeah.
Has to be.
It's not a suggestion.
It's not it's not up to.
No.
Oh, wow. Let's find out how badly I Wait, can you? So you can't. I can use a pistol at long range, but I can't shoot somebody in the face from 10 feet away. See, that's why.
No, weapons are different than spells.
Okay. But
weapons will say up to, which means you can also be in short range, but anything that says must be is much different.
Oh, must be. It is must be. Got you.
Ignore what I just said.
Okay.
I asked this earlier and I just completely forgot, and that's why I fired again rather than doing the spell.
Okay. So,
you're just gonna have to live with mystery that I have a curse that none of you have seen yet.
Oh no. Okay.
And it hasn't happened. In which case, I'll just turn this into. Oh right, I got 2 temporary interaction bene from. Forget what it was
3, actually.
From.
Yeah.
No, I used 1 already.
Sick.
Last time. I will do that to sort of encourage cooperation. Not nearly as flashy as a curse, but there you are.
So you are going to try to convince her to do this.
Yeah, I'm really good at convincing people.
Go ahead and make an interaction roll. Your challenge is still going to be 9.
Okay.
But the thing about this is that depending on your different levels of success, I can tell you more information.
All right. I'll take it.
Okay.
Unless I back all the way up and then scream at her that she should listen to my friend while I curse her from a long distance. It'll be an 8.
I will tell you this.
Unfortunately, not a 9.
I will tell you this. In her, as you talk to her and try to convince her, her eyes don't even like the blacks of her eyes do not even spin to like look at you. The laughing continues. You realize in this interaction, death holds no purchase or sway or intimidating factor for her, because I will tell you this, she believes she's already won.
Yeah, that tracks.
We believe in nothing, Lebowski.
You guys are nihilists.
I forgot they want the void. In which case we really ought to keep her from it.
I am going to go ahead and turn a card because you guys used a Forte ability.
I thought it was just spells, but I mean, I love cards. Pull cards.
Yeah, actually, you're going to be very glad that I did this. This is the Imperator, the sovereign of vision, swans, blades, and water. Wisdom and war, turning points, deciding factors. Sometimes conflict is needed, and the Imperator believes that keeping a level head and using intellect and wisdom rather than rage or brute force paves the path to victory. Of course, not every crisis point lies within a literal battle. Some conflicts take other forms, stressful situations where some are prone to make rash decisions based on emotion, but not the Imperator. Follow his example. The Imperator is the sovereign of the Visions family. He is a leader, an advisor, a teacher, and a mighty warrior. This card represents the crucial turning point, the deciding factor that brings victory or defeat, the crisis point. Generally, the interpretation is that when this card is turned, the person in question must make a very important decision upon which everything that follows now rests. The Imperator also suggests that this choice should be made with consideration and care, not emotion or haste. He shall lead us through the gates. The storm of war cannot harm us if we follow his command. Whose is that? Okay. Maurice, you feel whatever touch that cube had on you, there is a moment of clarity as the remaining cubes pulse again, and 3 of the facets of the Auru stam once again darken and become covered in shadow. And that's when you notice something, which is that halo that is in Gabrielle's chest. There seems to be this obscuring darkness that is beginning to cover it. At which point, Gabrielle, I need you to make a level 8 resistance roll as you feel like your body is not your own.
Cool. Thank God for that seed of truth that gives me a +2 to resistance.
Yeah. This is only going to require 1 die.
Okay. That was going to be my next question.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Resistance rolls. Okay. And it's going to be a 9.
Okay. You feel normally there is the council, like that reassuring presence of Athariel. Athariel is beginning to try to move you against your will. And you have this flash in your mind of all of the angels inside of you, their eyes glazed over with black, as they seem to be trying to pilot you, and all of them are speaking that same terrifying language that Maurice heard. And standing against them, at kind of like almost like in this almost like strange kind of mind grove, you see your uncle, Jakob, balling his fists and preparing for something before you flash back and you have your agency again. Maurice and Gabrielle, both of you know that you are going to have to make a choice with regard to the Auru Stam and whether or not you can save it or you have to destroy it. Whatever you need to do in order to circumvent this thing. If all of the Auru Stam is obscured and darkened, things get very bad very quickly. And it is on that note that we are going to take our 10-minute break. All right. Okay. So, Gabrielle, you realize that whatever is transpiring, your uncle is fighting a battle inside of you for basically control of your soul. But that said, you have come to this realization. Maurice, you understand that like whatever is happening, you are at this pivotal moment where the terrible things that are at work here are going to are basically, this is a make or break moment with very far reaching consequences. The Imperator is still very much in play. So we are going to start back at the top of the round. Kyrrie, you're up.
Okay. So just as a point of order, would it be possible for Kyrrie to have let go the other spell she was holding, not the one on the weird sister, but like she had spent sorcery to keep that at like a second version of that spell at bay? Can she make the choice to let that go and then spend the remainder of her sorcery to have held the Camerata's Cursebreaker spell?
I will take. So remind me, does Camerata's Cursebreaker, does it require your kind of concentration to remain on it, or what is it?
No, it's a one-time thing. Like you just do it when it happens.
Yeah, I will say that you can have. I am a benevolent GM. I will allow you to have released that, unless you want to try something like similar to that again and release it. What do you want to do?
I think she will have just said, we'll say sunk cost and let go the other version of Baroth's Blinding Grasp. Although she is still, that spell has not yet depleted. Well, actually, let me check that while we're here.
Yeah.
That's a 9, so that does not deplete.
Okay.
So that's still going, but I will say that she will spend the remainder of her sorcery to have held Camerata's Cursebreaker as a beta Vance spell in her mind for a second attempt, and she will now use that as her action this round.
Cool. All right. Give me that roll, because remember, actually, remind me, what's the level again?
The level of the spell is 5.
Okay.
Plus 1 die.
So you did need to hit a 7 in order to draw out the curse last time.
Right.
I will say with the Imperator in place, you are going to once again remove a curse from this cube, or from the Al-Rustam. You see 3 of those previously shaded facets once again clear. This diamond-like artifact, this stone, you pull the shadow off of it, and once again, you hear the shattering noise of one of the accursed cubes as it breaks, and you now have in your position 2 curse daggers. And that is your turn. Let me see. Twigg, you're up next.
That's me. I'm gonna do nothing helpful. As I am wont to do.
Okay. Describe how you do that.
And by that I mean I'm going to so Twigg is kind of staggered up to Maurice, is just kind of standing here trying to figure out what's Maurice's vibe right now. Can I get a vibe check?
Yeah, actually, I think this might be does Twigg need to make a roll, Maurice?
No, I would say with the pull of the Imperator that shook free whatever was going on. So I think the vibe you have is like shock, shame, fear.
I will say this. I think you have that moment of clarity. Let's turn a card to see if you manage to have that moment remain. Okay, so you cast. Okay, this is a new card. Let me switch us back over to the path so you guys can see it. So the Suspicious Hound, which accentuates indigo and it weakens gray. Meanings: doubt, suspicion, lack of clarity, judgment, and decisions. The hound stands sentinel and you approach, but you don't want the suspicious hound to be focused on you. Snarling and glaring, the hound isn't certain of its enemies, but once it decides you are a danger, that's almost certainly a bad thing. However, the hound is also the representative of our own doubts and difficult decisions. In many ways, we are the suspicious hound, or at least we ought to be. A negative card to turn, the suspicious hound typically suggests that one is plagued with doubt and indecision, or it might just suggest that one doesn't have enough information to make a good decision yet. Judgment must be passed and a decision must be made, but there's no clarity yet. If one is looking for an answer, that answer is too difficult to tell. Try again later. No good can come from rousing the hound's suspicions. An NPC grows suspicious. An NPC makes a decision based on little evidence. A PC is faced with a difficult decision. And this is actually a decision I'm going to place on you. My thing about this is we've just heard the divination of the card. Do you manage to pull out of this like hateful reverie that this cube inspired in you?
I mean, I think that fits with what Maurice lost control, and knew that he wanted to use these things, and now kind of shaken out of it, and also confused about what path must be taken. Does the Alrestam get saved or destroyed?
Yeah.
So I'll say he is out of it.
I will say that I will ask, does this mean that your grasp on her with the tentacle loosens?
Yes.
Okay. Good to know. All right. So I believe...
I'll finish being unhelpful.
Twig needs
now.
to finish being unhelpful. What is it?
And by being unhelpful, I think so I'm gonna refresh a pool, but I think Twig kind of puts one hand on Maurice's shoulder, and just I think you just this is not a mechanical effect. This is more of a just kind of shittily trying to be comforting, like this it's like a boop boop, hey buddy, kind of energy. But there's also a I did the imbue reality has depleted. I did roll for that. The we start at the beginning ability is still kicking, so I think there's just this kind of I think when Twig touches you, there's just this sense of not necessarily kind of whatever the emotional opposite of finality is, just kind of washes over you, and there's this aura of almost manic optimism in a sense, not just a hint, but it smells like optimism.
I have a pitch that as this happens, it's a two-way transfer, and you feel, if only momentarily, the hatred and that feeling that Maurice is dissipating at that moment.
Cool. All right. Which leaves Gabrielle. What do you do with your round?
So I was privy to that knowledge that if the darkness consumes the Alrestam, things be bad.
Things
okay.
things definitely be bad.
Okay. Oh man. Do I sense any way to stop this from happening?
You have the sense that I will say this. I think that it's a hard question. Let me actually turn a card to see if you have any luck here. Well, this one goes on the testament, so we're going to find this out. You can also ignore this. You can use your testament rejection. Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, and the testament card is the revealing knife. It accentuates pale, it weakens green. Revelation, discovery, and finesse. The revealing knife cuts everything. It slices through buildings or mountains as easily as paper or flesh. Anything that obfuscates what lies beyond or within is cut with precise strokes. We all long for such a tool to cut away the confusion and the lies, but we fear it as well. For what would such a knife slice away from us? What would it expose? The philosopher Timon Grain said, "We always assume what lies beneath. Buried deep is what is real. But what if the truth is actually the outermost layer? What if the grandest secret in the world is that there are no secrets and everything is what it appears to be? Most believe the revealing knife to be the counterpoint to Grain's idea. When the revealing knife card is turned, it suggests that careful, precise action is required for what lies ahead. It indicates that there are secrets to be discovered, and whether their revelation is a good or ill tiding is up to the individual concerned. When the card is turned, most assume that the next card played on the Path of Suns indicates the nature of the secret revealed by the knife. A secret is revealed, or at the very least, there is a secret that might be revealed. A challenge arises that requires finesse. Something is cut or severed. The blade carves away all that obscures, leaving truth exposed for all to see. Okay, so I think that answers your query. Yeah. So you know that the next moments will dictate not only your agency, but perhaps even the agency of all of the angels within the Silver Sun. You have the sense that whatever is happening is tied to these cubes, that whatever Kyrrie is doing is helping, but you don't know how quick, like how much she is slowed down by this thing. So you don't also know how successful Jakob is going to be fighting a horde of angels inside of you to maintain your agency. So what do you do?
Man, I wish I had something that I could use to help Kyrrie, but I don't think that I physically have the spells or the forte abilities that are very utilitarian. I have a thought though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is really helpful. So the cubes can't be moved. It doesn't matter how far they're moved or anything like that.
You saw that Maurice tried to move one and had something happen to him. You don't know if that something will happen to you if you touch it. But you have
well,
like
what if I
suspicions.
didn't quite touch it and moved it?
Regale me.
That's what I'm saying. Like if I had an ephemera object that, let's say, gave me 2 pairs of ethereal arms.
Okay.
As a sheer hypothetical. And the name being extremely apropos of the hands of angels help the weary.
Okay. Read for me the text of this ephemera object.
You gain 2 extra ephemeral arms that assist virtually any physical action in addition to the obvious, being able to hold more things. That's literally what it says. You gain 2 bene to both movement and accuracy. The hands do not enable extra or additional actions. I'm not asking to take more actions. The hands will disappear when the bene have been used up.
Okay. All right. So I will say that using these ethereal arms will not they basically are not they're your will, yes, but they're not physically touching the cube, so maybe they might not have the same effect.
Let's freaking do it. Let's go, baby. I'm gonna pop that. I don't know how like the ephemera sort of like pings into being, but I'm gonna say with maybe that whatever weird existential crisis Gav is having internally is somehow manifesting. Maybe it's not just her will, but it's Jakob's as well. Like 2 arms just sort of like spring forth in gold because the color of this object is indeed gold. I'm gonna take one look at Maurice. I'm like doing like one look at you, one look over at Kyrrie, one look over at the outer stem. And Maurice, I think you know Gab well enough to know that she's about to do something incredibly stupid. And she's gonna take off running for the nearest hate box and try and chuck it.
Okay. All right. You grasp it. I need
firmly grasp it.
You firmly grasp this. And this is literally just going to be an accuracy roll to see if you can.
Yeah, I did get those 2 bene.
Yeah, chuck it out. And not only that, I will say that this probably gives you a extra die as well.
Oh, sure. You are a good DM.
Yeah, so because these are
very kind.
magical hands.
Magic hands.
magic.
God damn
Jazz
it.
hands. They're my jazz hands. All right, off we go with that additional Bene. I'm going to use the ones from the ephemera, so just the one.
Mm-hmm.
And once this is used, that one hand is going to disappear. I'm doing that for flavor because there are two, so it's 2 extra hands.
Okay.
We're having fun, folks. Cool. Not my best work. That one is a 0, and the other is only a 3.
Okay. So as you kind of like try to pull at this thing, I think that the hands are still manifest, but as you pull, this thing seems to tug down with a gravity all its own, and it is staying put. Like you feel like physically you are like pushing it, but it's kind of once again like just you're barely inching it. And
Right.
as soon as you let the pressure go, it returns to its place as if it's been fixed there by magic. So I will say you can probably make another attempt on the next round.
Sure. Yeah.
That said, the 2 remaining cubes pulse once again. And I need you to make another resistance roll.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh gosh.
You are in
This is on the 1 dice, right?
Yeah, you guys are in a war for control. You are in a war for control.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, better. I don't know what I'm rolling against,
I
but
believe
that is going to be a 6.
Okay, I believe it was you were looking for a 7, I think.
So close.
But wait, no, the question is like let me see. Did you have any benefits? No.
Well,
I
I have my I added all of them.
Yeah.
My seed of truth and my natural resistance. So
Okay.
it's +2.
Ooh, okay, so that was added. Okay.
Yeah, that was added.
Yeah. You feel
Oh God.
you have again that flash to your interior monologue, or not your interior monologue, how do
My
I tell
mindscape, my mind palace.
to your mindscape? How do I tell it that I have no internal monologue? So you flash back to this mindscape and you see Jakob fighting like a demon, trying to rake out at these angels that are basically trying to hold him down as he is fighting valiantly against them. And then you see Athariel's darkened eyes meet yours, and you have a sense that you are being overridden. So that also said,
Hi, all.
I will say this. In addition, as you have loosed your grasp on the Vislae twin,
The Vespertine.
the Vespertine, yes. How dare you?
Listen, if I slip of the tongue, I'm gonna live with it.
You were the one that was previously holding her with the tentacle, Maurice. She's gonna reach out, grab you, and I need you to make a. I think this is going to be. She's gonna attempt to grab you. I'd like you to make a dodge roll.
Is she still bound?
She is still bound, but she can still attack you.
Okay.
Because you are also right next to her. So go ahead and make me. Okay, so yeah, no, this is +3 to spell casting. Yeah, you are going to have to make a. I think this is a dodge roll of. No, I'm going to say this is a 6 because basically she's reaching out for you to cast a spell. If the spell affects you, it's another thing. Go ahead.
Okay, so what pools could I add Bene from for this?
This would be movement.
Oh, nothing in there. Okay. I'm gonna spend a sortilege.
Mhm.
Six and a 1.
Okay. You get the sense. Oh, let me see. This is a magical attack, so you need 2 successes. Okay.
Would I would have 2 dice to begin with, and then I add the sortilege?
No, this would be we would have to add the sortilege to add the 2 dice. Unless you have an enhancement that that you can add.
If I need 2 successes and I can only roll 1.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how that would normally work? If I couldn't spend sortilege, I would only roll 1 die and automatically fail?
Yeah, that's typically how that works. But I will say that this is a magical attack. If you have more than just 1 sortilege, you can, because you have advanced sortilege, you can use both. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'll use it.
Okay.
It's another 1.
You feel her grasp dig into you, and you feel yourself sink into the floor as you are now fused to the floor beneath you. You come up to your shins. It is impossible for you to move.
Do I have any sort of mental incapacitation like I saw the angels?
No,
Okay.
You are just unable to move, but more importantly, you are also unable to turn. So this will impair your ability to see what's going on behind you.
Okie dokie.
Okay. All right. So her action spent. The rest of you see the angels rise up, their eyes black as pitch. And they are going to turn and face each of you. Seeing that Kyrrie has done the most to address the cube, they are going to begin moving towards you. Kyrrie, I need you to make 2 level 6 dodges. These are not magical.
Okay. I think I have a +1 to dodge. So that's a 6 and a 7.
Okay. Describe how you managed to weave away from these things whilst holding the 2 daggers.
I think it's very much like she's kind of ducking, like as they're coming toward her. I imagine the Elder Stam is like on a slightly elevated thing, right? Like is that like considered high ground, or is that on the same level as the rest of the...
The Aurustam is not on high ground. It's basically level with the rest of the chamber. But you do have the columns, the colonnades surrounding you, if you can try to like move out and kind of dodge and weave.
I think that's what she's doing then, is kind of between the columns. She's sort of like, has basically a curse dagger in each hand, and is kind of like jousting with the angels as they're approaching, but manages to dodge their attempts to attack her.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I will go ahead and say then, you manage to dodge these angels as they kind of move these almost radiant lit weapons to try and intercept you as you move around the cubes. What do you do? Oh wait, yeah, so that was the end of their turns. So now it's the top of the round. I am going to go ahead and turn another card. Okay. Oof. This one is the Inevitable Cataclysm. Meanings: bad luck, endings, inevitability, breaking a relationship. Its color accentuates gold, it weakens silver. While we fear the cataclysm, it is inevitable. We cannot prevent it. The end comes for all things eventually, and we cannot stop it. The earth quakes, the seas advance, the sky falls. Fire engulfs everything. We can try to survive it, but that's likely the best we can hope for. An optimist might try to say that the cataclysm can be cleansing and change things for the better, but the inevitable cataclysm really isn't about that. It's about endings. It's difficult to see this card turn as a positive one. Typically, even if it suggests that something unwanted comes to an end, it is usually a violent and costly one. The card might just be seen as ill fortune, but it could also be the end of a relationship, the end of an ongoing success, or that significant possession like a house might be in danger of destruction. Game narrative. A significant relationship comes to an end, a disaster strikes, a structure collapses. Towers topple, creatures die, everything has an ending. So as the round starts anew, you see all of the birds that are surrounded in this open air chamber that like swarm over the roof but have been unable to get in because of the magic of these cubes. You see them all alight with fire as they are all incinerated. And the last time you saw this was you saw Queen Frigeleva do this. And with this, on this note, Kyrrie, it's your turn again.
All right, so Kyrrie can cast Camerata's Cursebreaker one final time before she maxes out her advanced spell mental space. And so I think she's going to do that. But equally, I think she's been watching and seeing that once every so often, these cubes pulse and all the work that she does to clear facets gets undone because they cloud up again. And so she knows that in order to make progress, they're going to have, you can't just, it's going to otherwise just be one-to-one. So I think with that in mind, she's going to look to Twigg and she's going to yell, "Twigg, catch!" And she's going to throw one of the curse daggers at you. And she's going to say, "Stab the cube." And I think apart from that, the other thing she does is she casts Camerata's Cursebreaker again to basically produce a new dagger and clear the same 3 facets again.
Okay. You have, I will tell you this, you have the sense that, okay, so go ahead and make me a roll again. Once again, I believe you're trying to make 2 on both dice.
2 and 7. Just barely.
You draw another dagger out of this cube. You toss the dagger. This is just honestly going to be, make me an accuracy roll. Make sure that you can get it into Twigg's hand. This is going to be about a 5.
Okay, and I will add a Bene to this because I do have an accuracy Bene I can add. That's a 5 + 1, 6.
Okay, so you toss the dagger handily to Twigg. You loft it up. They catch it. I will say, drawing out this curse, you see the facets once again clear. Gabrielle, for a moment, you once again have your agency. You have no idea how much longer this is going to take because once again, you hear that shattering noise. This may be the last chance you have.
I think if Kyrrie can, because she has assailants now in this area, and she knows there's nothing else she can do to protect the Alverstam. That was it. I think she's going to bolt. She's going to now take off running toward the cubes.
Okay, cool. There's only the one remaining as it seems to continue to pulse with this energy. Okay, in which case, Twigg, you're up next.
Well, I don't do many things, but you know what I do? Stab. I stab.
Okay.
The stabbing is something Twigg is completely capable of, and they're gonna. How far are they from the nearest last cube?
I will say that you can definitely clear the distance. I will say if you want to get there, I'd like you to make a movement roll because this is to make sure that you are not intercepted by the angels that are kind of like trying to find and attack Kyrrie.
Yeah, historically speaking, that would be bad. I will make a movement roll then. That will put me, scroll down to this. I do have to turn another card real quick though. Oh, thanks. Hate that.
Okay.
Given we had the Cataclysm last time, how much worse can it get?
The Hidden Moon. Secrets, ravens, books, and flame. It accentuates gray. It weakens indigo. Meanings, new beginnings, insight, intuition, foresight, looking ahead, potential danger. We talk a lot about the sun, but the moon has as much influence over our lives. It just does it more subtly, quietly. The moon is stealthy. It comes at night. It hides amid the treetops and behind the tall buildings. It is light, is soft, and dim. When Hidden Moon is played, something new begins. It suggests looking forward, not backward. But what's coming ahead might be dangerous rather than beneficial, so be wary. The moon rewards those who can discover its secrets. As you see this, you have this feeling inside of you, Twigg, that something is different, something is changing. Through the open apertures of the colonnade of this chamber, you see rising into view Queen Fergeleva. Her eyes, once lit with silver radiant light, are once again black as tar, and she is looming over you, and she pounds a fist into the colonnade, which seems to be deflected not only by the naturally protective nature of the stone, but whatever these kind of like sealing curses these cubes did, it seems to be momentarily blocking her off with magic as you realize she is coming to hopefully finish what has been started.
Well, I hate that. I am secrets, ravens, and books, and Twigg is just runs and is going to avoid that shit and go right for the box.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a sortilege. No, I'm gonna put a movement interaction into this actually.
Okay.
And that is a. It's not great. It's a 5 total.
Okay.
Wait, actually, would this
The
actually? Hold on. Wait 1 moment here. Am I dodging their attacks?
Actually, no. I was gonna say if you're putting a movement bene into the dodge, if you rolled,
is it a dodge?
Yeah, you're dodging. You're doing movement.
That's a 7 then.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Okay, so you actually
I have 2 points in the dodge skill.
you manage to weave around these eagle-headed angels as a spear kind of comes out and lances out to try and catch you. You just kind of like duck under it as you move to the cube. What do you do?
I would like to. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's. Oh damn! I'm 1 short. I would like to commence the stabbing, please.
Okay.
For reference, the dagger is level 7.
Does it give them an additional die?
Let me read the spell, and I will tell you. Camerata's Curse Breaker. It just says, as an appearance based on the curse and functions as a weapon of the cursed's level, and 1-time use.
Okay. I will also ask you to make me a depletion roll, Kyrrie, to see if the Bayroth's Binding Grasp depletes.
Yes, I completely forgot about that. That's a 9.
Okay.
So no, we're good.
Yeah. She is still bound. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I have anything especially helpful for this. So,
So the curse is level 7.
yes. So I'm rolling to it. What am I rolling to attack here? Is this a?
You're rolling to attack the cube.
I would like to put a
Attack.
sortilege into that.
Okay.
Attack the darkness.
Attack the darkness.
Actually, okay. Let me double check.
I'm gonna take this blade of darkness and jam it into the darkness, and I expect good results.
So here, I know that this is. You know what? Roll the dice anyway. I want to find out how it goes.
Am I adding anything to this?
Just tell me what you get.
It's 2 4s.
The level of the cursed dagger is 7.
Okay.
All right. So it is very good that you added sortilege to this. Because as you bring the knife down, the curse dagger into this box, you see where you attacked it. It physically shatters the cube, and there is this moment where the pieces begin shivering and vibrating and try to move to reform the cube. And then the surge of magical power that you put into it evaporates, disintegrating this cube. As you realize that these cubes can only be destroyed by magic. Anything physical that is done to them is reformed. And with that, all of the darkened facets clear on the Auru stam. And I need to change the music. You, I think, find yourself breathing heavy as you wait for the next shoe to drop. You wait for the inevitable cataclysm that is about to come. You wait for these angels to reach out and to take a hold of you as this last desperate act its resolution fades. And then the assault doesn't come. Gabrielle, you have a sense that whatever conflict was transpiring inside of you has ceased for the time being. Unfortunately, Maurice, you find yourself still unable to move. So, I will say this. You hear a howl of anger and frustration. Maurice, that awful kind of telepathic feedback loop that was being emitted by these cubes, had the background radiation of it leaves your immediate mind. And in front of you, having stuck you into the floor, is a blinded, grasped Vespertine agent. You have no idea what's going to transpire over the course of the next few seconds, but you have this moment to act. What do you do?
I think I'm gonna try and knock her out.
Okay.
Just big whap with the tentacle arm.
Okay. All right. So remember that whatever she has some sort of magical defense, but because she is blinded, this is actually going to be probably easier for you to do.
Am I rolling to get through the magical defense or just rolling to hit?
Rolling to get through the magical defense.
What do I roll for that?
Let me check her stats again. I will tell you in a moment when I am better at this. Okay. You are trying to get through... Yeah, you're trying to get through a 2 defenses. Level is 9 with all of her defenses added. So what you are trying to do, subtracting the level of the tentacle, but also taking away 2 for her defenses because she's blinded. You need to hit a 2 twice.
Oh, by my math, I need to hit a 6, so I like that.
Okay.
I do so.
Okay.
5 and a 4.
Yeah. Describe what it looks like as you render this agent unconscious.
The tentacle, like the thickest part, like above the elbow, lands between her, like right at her neck and her shoulder, and she just crumples downward.
Yeah, and
head smacking.
And the 2 freed angels, you hear their shuffling steps behind you, even though you strain to see. Gabrielle, this leaves you with the last action of the round.
Oof. Do I see any? There's no more enemies to attack, are there?
Nothing seems to be in movement or in action or in kind of like... I will say this, the one thing that you do see is Queen Frigeleva floating through the portals of the colonnade. You can make out her face examining all of you, all 40 feet of her. And that pitch darkness that was covering her eyes is now gone, replaced once again by the silver light shimmering out of her eyes as she looks on at you serenely. It's hard to parse the emotions and the thoughts of something this powerful. What do you do?
I think I want to go help Maurice secure the now unconscious Vespertine.
You do this, and with that, you also assist the angels in doing so, binding her in what appears to be whatever is handy. I think the angels at this point are grasping her very tightly. And you have this moment where you have realized that all of the threats are removed and the Al Rustam seems to shimmer behind you. Its facets completely cleared of the dark magic that was enshrouding it.
I think she gives like a cough, and there's like the whatever remained of that black curse just sort of spills out of her
Mhm.
gun.
Okay. All right. You have this moment of tranquility, this moment of rest. And I think that with the help of the angels and Frigeliva, you find yourselves back in the palace proper. All of you spent by your efforts, completely overwhelmed by the actions that have taken place, the conflict that you needed to, this crucible that you needed to get through. And I'm going to turn one more card as we kind of settle in for the denouement of this this episode. The Questing Knight, the apprentice of vision, swans, blades, and water. Meanings: justice, journey, determination, achieving goals. The apprentice of the Visions family, the Questing Knight is stalwart and focused individual seeking justice, but over the long term, the quest is long and hard. Success, however, comes to the persistent and the determined. This card suggests determination is needed for success, but it indicates that such success is within one's grasp, particularly if such a turn of events is just and right. It can also mean that success, still likely, comes only at the end of a long journey. Nothing stops the knight and their consecrated steed. No journey too long, no quest too difficult keeps them from their goal. You find yourselves once again staring into the knowing eyes of the all-powerful Queen Frigeliva. Speaking plainly to all of you, she looks down at you from her throne. Gabrielle, your parents, looking, I think, a little bit shocked by what has transpired. The bodies of the solitary murmuration that was subjugated by these Vespertine agents, they are in the process of being cleared from the throne room. Ocarian, the angelic guide that assisted you, also kind of comforting some of the angels that were taken over by the magic of that was cast by these cubes. And Queen Frigeliva looks down at all of you and says very authoritatively,
The Owl Rustam has spoken to me. And in this moment, a boon must be given to each of you, as you have perhaps saved the souls of these angels from corruption within my realm. We are still working to ascertain what has transpired. However, this land owes a great debt to all of you. You are welcome here for as long as you wish. We will see to any mortal requirements or needs you may have as you recover from this terrible trial.
And you guys now find Queen Frigeliva, monarch of the angels of the Silver Sun, in your debt. Now, I know that a lot has transpired. Is there anything that you guys would like to do before, in this moment of kind of like recovery and recuperation, that you, or any thoughts that pass through your mind as you have triumphed over this terrible conflict?
I think Twigg sits down, like just kind of drops. It's just like kind of like they're very tired and they just woke up and rolled into this situation and everything's unclear. And I think this is just kind of they're not one for formality. Even if we're sitting in the court of a queen,
Okay.
just a nap would be nice.
I think she just nods. Anybody else?
Gav is standing there. She's a little like probably getting a migraine based from the almost total body takeover, but other than that, she's more or less okay. She's got like her rifle sort of propped up, and she's already like taken out a kerchief, and she's already polishing the end of it, and she's just sort of standing there, and she says, "I'd like to question that Vespertine that we found once they come to."
She nods. And there is, I think her eyes narrow as they do. And you realize even a creature this powerful cannot disguise her utter disgust and contempt. Kyrrie? Maurice?
I think we see a brief little flashback to the very end of the conflict, where as the Auristam's facets clear, we see Kyrrie had been running towards the final cube, not knowing really what she was going to do if Twigg's attempt to stab it failed, because she realized she was at the capacity, the absolute limit of her spellcasting. And that's not something Kyrrie's had a lot of experience with before. Usually she has something in the tank. She's never really felt so exhausted or drained as when she realized that she actually couldn't cast Camerata's Cursebreaker again. And I think she's been sort of weighing that feeling that even though they were successful, all could have been lost because there was a limit to her ability, and one that could have, resulted in failure as easily as it did success. And I think she's looking at the cursed daggers. She has 2 of them remaining, and is kind of rolling them over in her hand and looking at this dark black onyx. And she just shivers involuntarily at how deep that darkness seems to go, and how almost if you look at the surface too long, it functions like a mirror, and you can start to see yourself reflected back in it.
Maurice?
I think Maurice sees this and walks over to Kyrrie. I think Duncan makes it before he does, kind of jumps up on your knees. And Maurice says, good work out there.
Thanks. It almost wasn't enough.
I should have done more. I lost control. And he kind of gestures to the daggers. Am I still... I don't know if that all left me. Can you check? Is there anything those can do?
These are weapons now. But
The
for
magic is
Eleva,
gone. Can they still pull curses out?
I can. It's a spell. I have to rest. I can look tomorrow. But I'm afraid I can't cast any more spells at the moment. I've never really felt my magic so tapped out like this.
Of course. Right. And his tentacle arm kind of curls up and he's once again kind of hiding it behind his back.
I think Kyrrie points to Frogreleva. She might be able to tell you, though. She does that truth scanning thing.
You're right.
Twigg scooches over, like literally scooches across the floor. And I think like there's kind of like, like they're not too far from where Kyrrie was. And listening into this is just going to give a long sniff of Maurice is like whatever Maurice's scent.
Musk.
Specifically the musk. Thanks. I hate it. The scent of muskic. No, the scent of magic, which is a spell, a level 2 spell. And for a moment, I gained the ability to sense magic by its unmistakable and unique odor. Not only can I sense the presence of active magic near me, but if I use an action to examine a specific magical effect or item, I can also identify it.
Okay.
Tell me, Zachary, what does my apostate nose smell?
There is a powerful dark facet that has bound itself to Maurice's arm. And you realize that your conflict with the hate cyst left a terrible mark on Maurice, insofar as it worsens, and yet it seems to be preying upon his insecurities as well as on the utter hatred you all have for your enemies. I think that you realize that this is a very deep and powerful curse. But if there is anybody that could potentially remove it, it is from the powerful font of angelic power that radiates from that throne that you can smell.
Smells like rot. Smells. Your arm it's not just the tentacle, Maurice. It's something sick about it.
I felt it. Not just here. Maurice grabs his Testament of Suns and moves this conversation to telepathy between the four of us, including Gav, and basically shares exactly what went down in this fight. How when he touched it, he was overwhelmed by this, sharing that this was the first time he fully lost control, but also sharing the previous moments when he felt that hatred, and it was helpful and felt good, and he didn't feel like he would lose control. But now he's worried and has shared all of this openly with you.
While that's happening, I think Twigg is listening to this telepathy-wise. So just the daggers are still there. They're just no longer magically charged.
They're very magically charged. They are very powerful curse weapons. But the issue is that
I thought
it has been
one use out of them.
You get one use, but they're still there. They're basically very powerful weapons that have basically rendered the cubes inert.
So Kyrrie has 2 that are still full curse daggers because they weren't used. They were byproducts of taking the curse out of Valrustem. But the one that Twigg has, that Twigg used, is still a dagger, but not magically charged the same way.
And
okay. What is that? Can I also get a scent check on that?
On the daggers?
Yeah, the one that's been expended.
The one that's been expended, I actually would almost rule that one shattered the moment it was used, just because it is a one-use item that is charged with hatred, so that tracks. You can do this, I will say, in your leisure with the other daggers. However, I will say that the queen leans forward and looks down at Maurice at your arm and says,
Would you have of me a boon?
Your Highness, I can think of no greater reward.
Then step forward.
He does so.
and this massive grasp reaches down, her hand covering the whole of your arm with barely the edge of her fingers. And there is a powerful light that emits from the clenched fist of her hand as it has clasped over your arm. And that is where we're going to leave tonight's episode. So, guys, thank you so much for rejoining us for this, the first episode we've gotten a chance to run in a couple of months, and damn does it feel good to be back. Guys, we're just going to very quickly do a 5-minute character recap. Let's just keep them very simple. We got a little bit of a time constraint tonight, so just going to go in this typical order. Gabrielle, joy, despair, acumen, character arcs rather.
Nothing new for character arcs, but I'm not actually sure what to do for despair or joy in this situation. I mean, there's definitely joy involving disrupting a Vespertine plot, but getting her body almost hijacked is definitely not great either. So I don't know what to put in.
Okay.
This is like the first time I'm genuinely like, flummoxed.
Well, we'll think about that for a while.
Yeah.
Then. I will tell you this, though. I think for outright killing of Vespertine, take 1 acumen.
I'll take that.
Okay. Next step, Maurice. Joy, despair, character arcs.
No character arcs. I think I'm gonna have to go with joy. By walking through the dark to get there. But oh hey, drinking dog. Took walking through the dark to get there. But I cannot even focus. Cannot even focus.
Ooh,
A
thirsty.
superstar.
That was quite the fight. Duncan's thirsty.
Being able to share this vulnerability with his friends and then resolutely asking for what he needs, what he's wanted. That's a joy.
Awesome. Fantastic. Take a joy, and then take a acumen for finding out the intentions of that cube. All right. Twig, joy, despair, character arcs.
Shockingly, this didn't suck. Character arcs, I don't think I've done. Well, actually, no, that was last session that I would argue I found out some important information. I accomplished nothing on this character arcs. This was actually kind of good. Sure, it seemed like we were going to die, but that seems to happen a lot. And honestly, that's just par for the course. So I think joy. Yeah, they were successful in helping their friends a little bit, and I think nobody dislikes them more. They've got a boon from a fairly powerful ally. Just all around, things are coming up Twig.
Absolutely, and I think that take 1 acumen for being that clinch moment where you managed to destroy the last accursed cube. Kyrrie, joy, despair, character arcs.
No character arcs. I think this is very similarly a joy for Kyrrie, but one that comes tinged with terror and or a little bit of despair. And I think it's because she looked out on the field of battle while she was, trying to protect the Elverstam, and she saw Gav, Dark Eyes, co-opted by this magic. She saw Maurice stuck and, unable to move. And I think she realizes just how close they were to not being able to pull it off. And like I mentioned earlier, she kind of felt that tension between how much she had to give and maxing that out, and facing the reality that without Twigg's sort of final ability to destroy the last cube, it couldn't have been enough. But equally, I think she hasn't always been the kind of backbone in a battle because she's not a strong fighter. And I think being able to kind of solve a puzzle, as it were, with her magic, and her magic doing so much of the heavy lifting in this particular conflict, was very new for Kyrrie. And I think we tip over into joy because she proved to herself that even though it took the limits of her magic, she could do it. And that in the end, they pulled it off. And she might be one step closer to realizing she does actually have something to give and is making a contribution here that is unique and, very distinct from the others on the team. So yeah, I think Kyrrie takes a joy.
Excellent. Take 1 joy and 1 acumen for solving my accursed cube puzzle. Okay, so guys, we're doing really great. Let's go ahead and just very quickly, once again, another round robin. Shout outs and plugs. Go on, Marcy.
Well, I've been Marcy. I'll continue to be her. And what we've got coming up, well, if you check out our Discord for Manapot Studios, you'll see we've got a ton of stuff coming up this month and many more months. Well, starting on Tuesday, if you're not entirely sick of Zach, myself, and Hopper, we are going to be taking y'all into the Mad Max universe in Flights of Fandom for 4 weeks. Just for the first 4 Tuesdays in March. Zach will be DMing. It's going to be absolutely buck wild. Do join us Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. But there's a ton of other stuff that's going to be happening. We're going to be posting our whole flight's schedule. We've got Bridgerton. We've got Star Wars. We've got BioShock. Thank you, Bill. It's just tons of stuff. And this summer, we will be having a brand new series. I'm not going to talk more about that. I'm just going to keep teasing that there is a brand new series. As we get closer to time, you'll learn more information. But yeah, other than that, check out the Discord, check out our YouTube channel for past videos of Hole in the World, past videos of Flights of Fandom, all that glitter explodes. There's tons of stuff on there. And also, if you ever want to game with us, let us know.
Awesome. Bill, shout outs, plugs.
I'd like to shout out Zach. This was so much fun, and I'm reminded how excellent you are as a DM. I would like to plug a channel on Twitch, the_legend_tree. This is Hopper's Twitch channel, and if you want to watch some irregularly scheduled Gloomhaven, we are playing on Steam. So hit follow on that account and you'll get notified when we play some Gloomhaven. It's a lot of fun. We're very stupid.
Awesome. Hopper, shout outs and plugs.
Well, I've been foiled. My devious plans. That being said, shout outs and plugs. I think everybody else has covered most of my normal shit. So outside of, some other stuff, you should check out Jeff Stormer's work, Party of One podcast, and All My Fantasy Children, which he does with Eric Katana Sayas. They're super rad. And our friends over at Encounter Party, which is a super rad podcast, fantasy D&D podcast with some super cool people doing that shit. And I'm not going to wax poetic about it, but I'd stab somebody for him.
That's on camera.
That is on camera. Yes.
I didn't say it was like I was going to just stab a random person. Self-defense is still a thing.
Someone clip that. Hopper's going to stab a random person.
We've got the confession.
Look.
A long stakeout.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Where's my closest knife? Oh, wait.
While you find that,
This isn't helping.
Marissa, shout outs, plugs.
Yeah, well, as many of you know, in my daily life, I am a book editor. And so for my plug this week, I wanted to draw attention to some English language books about Ukraine, its history, and its people, because I believe that no people should be defined solely by their tragedy. And I will post a link here in the chat to a list of resources that I've compiled. Feel free to share it widely. If you have something to add to it that I don't know of or aren't aware of, I would be glad to have recommendations for things to add. But it's a list of nonfiction, Ukrainian fiction, Ukrainian poetry, and some miscellaneous pieces like picture books and cookbooks of like delicious Ukrainian food. Just things to, you know, if you want to educate and read more about the Ukrainian people, as well as the history of this war and what brought us to this point, these books are a good place to start. I've also included at the end of the document a list of some tips and tricks for getting copies of in-demand books, because as you might expect, a delightful thing, many of these books are now very in demand because people are reading and educating themselves. So always check the publisher's website. That's one tip. A lot of people don't know that you can buy things direct from publisher, and that's often a way to not support Amazon, which is also delightful. So check out those reading resources and materials. Yeah, they're all really great, and I've been learning a lot and reading a lot by going through them.
Awesome. So guys, for my own shout outs and plugs, everybody's given a big list of reasons to check out the channel, and also a big list of people that you should be checking out Twitch and Streamwise. I do want to throw out a shout out to Angel Citadel Gaming and Fezrak's fantastic, and Josh Walls. When you guys get around to kind of watching this, thank you so much for supporting us, and love all of y'all's streams. So I can't wait to see the next installment. That said, I also wanted to make sure that we keep in mind our focus for tonight, which is once again, the Ukrainian people need our help. You know, basically, they are facing down probably the greatest threat any nation has ever faced. And so I once again point all of you to the list of charities that is cropping up in our periodic timer there, but I'll list them here once again. Is a NPR list of charities that I will send a link for. Right here, which is UNICEF, Doctors Without Borders, The Voices of Children, Sunflower of Peace, the International Committee of the Red Cross, Save the Children, the UN Refugee Agency, or otherwise known as UNHCR, CARE, which has its own Ukraine Crisis Fund, as well as the International Medical Corps. Guys, every contribution is going to make a very outsized impact here, so whatever you do, please try to give for those who are facing the situation. And once again, I'm going to reiterate that we are going to be crafting a homebrew custom forte that we will kind of homebrew between us and play test and or check around with. And we will make that available to anybody who gives us a receipt for a minimum $25 donation to a Ukraine charity of your choosing. So please, once again, I will send some information in our regular Discords, our Facebook, as well as on Twitter and what have you. And we will make that available to anybody that sends the Manapot Studios Gmail account, which I believe is manapotstudios@gmail.com. As soon as they give us a receipt, we will have, as soon as we have it ready, we will send you guys that homebrew forte, which I think you will hopefully get a real kick out of. So guys, with all that's going on in the world, it's incredibly important that we take care of each other, that we face down tyranny and cruelty, and we help the people that we love and care about the most, as well as those we don't know who are facing such terrible odds. So from the bottom of our hearts, make sure to take care of each other, to take care of yourselves, and above all, may the invisible sun shine on and protect you all. Good night.